Hello and welcome to Trisha Kicks Sass, a semi-serious vlog around security, gaming, and pretty much whatever else I feel like talking about today. Thank you so much for tuning in to my pilot episode of TKS Video Edition. For those of you who follow me on my various social channels or my blog, sincerely appreciate it, and I'm super excited to be able to connect with you on this platform as well. So, for my pilot, I really wanted to talk about something that I was super passionate about, and so I decided I wanted to talk about AI and UEBA and machine learning in reference to identity and access management. And the reason that I'm super passionate about it is because it was a huge learning experience for me. I'll be completely candid. Up until a couple of weeks ago, the extent of my IAM knowledge was network access control, and I have learned that there is just so much more that goes into it than that. So for those of you who have been working on IAM day to day, my proverbial hat is tipped to you because it is a huge undertaking. There is so much that goes into it. So I really wanted to talk about that because it's something that I think is super cool. And for a lot of the people that I've talked to, one of the biggest concerns is security is such a huge landscape. There are so many tools out there. How do I find something that is simple, easy to manage, and doesn't put a ton more work on my plate? And that's where AI and machine learning and UEBA can really take your posture from mediocre to mature with very little effort from your part because the machines are doing it for you. So, for those of you who follow me on my blogs or read my blogs, you know that I usually like to take something in security and technology and relate it to something in real life or something from my past life to try and make it a little bit more relatable. And so I wanted to do that. And fortunately, I was teed up by something that I saw a couple of months ago. I think it was a meme, but I'm not 100% on that. And it was a statement that was talking about visibility versus actionability. So visibility and single pane of glass are huge buzzwords in our industry right now, and for good reason, because you can't fix a problem that you can't see. But the problem with that is visibility only goes so far. You still have to be able to actually do something about it. So the meme or post or whatever it was, the gist of it said, visibility is great, but how effective would it be if you were standing outside looking in the window at someone robbing your house and not actually do something about it? Well, it wouldn't be very effective. That's just the straight truth. And so when it comes to security, that is also extremely true. So I want to take that example and kind of expound on it and maybe give a couple of different options and then relate it back to how we can utilize this in your security posture today. So let's say you're outside walking your dog, you look inside the window and you see that someone is in your house who shouldn't be there. You pretty much have four options at this point. You can run in and confront them, you can call the authorities, you can sit there and watch them, or you can run away. And I'm not a huge betting woman, but I would be willing to bet that most of you would not do three or four, and if you did, they probably wouldn't be very effective. So that's great, and that's because number one and number two are the actionable options, right? You're actually doing something about it. You're not just watching it, you're doing something about it. However, even with those two, there are still unforeseen circumstances that can occur because of those actions. So in the first example, you are potentially putting your safety at risk. They already have a leg up on you. They're already in your house. You're not there. So you have to find a way in safely and confront them and hopefully get all of your stuff back while not getting hurt or your family not getting hurt. And number two, there's a huge time gap. So now they're also ahead of you still because they're in your house. You call the authorities. You hope that they don't hear you because then your safety is also at risk, as well as the risk of them actually getting away with or without your stuff. The bad guy is still out there. So, and then of course, 3 and 4, it's even worse than that. So this is where UEBA, AI, machine learning can really help you. So let's take that same example, but add in a little bit of like smart home technology. So let's say you're looking outside, you're walking your dog outside, you look in and you see someone that's not there. But before you even see them, you hear your alarm go off. You hear your doors lock. You get a phone call and you hear a siren going. That's because your smart home realized, yes, they use Trisha's keys, but Trisha doesn't usually come in at this time. She also doesn't usually walk in these rooms at this time, and she definitely doesn't do it with this fast. She's not unplugging this kind of stuff, etc., etc. Guess what? That's probably not her. So cuts all of that off, and instead of just cutting everything off, actually calls the authorities, calls you to make sure that you're okay, and locks them down so that that person can't get away. That's an ideal scenario, and that's where we would like to get your security posture to be, because it's completely possible. That's exactly what UEBA does. So it would take a person, a user, and take them not just from a user and profile perspective, which is, allow, deny, like an AD, which is super important. You need to have permissions, but it actually takes beyond that, and the machine learns habits. And this is absolutely critical to really maintaining a robust posture. So yes, as user Trisha, I might have access to certain files, but I don't typically access them, and I don't typically access anything after a certain time. So let's say someone gets a hold of my credentials and logs in, and it says, oh wow, Trisha doesn't usually access this type of file, and she's never online at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's probably not her. That's great. There's your visibility piece. But then beyond that, it actually shuts it off, kicks that person out, alerts me and alerts my IT and security team, hey, I think we have a high priority case here, and this is why. All of that documentation, all of that reporting instantaneously and simultaneously. That's an ideal posture. The best part of all of that is now your system is being proactive so that you can react and respond whenever something gets on. But hopefully it was detected and stopped before any of your serious data leaks happened. So this is where AI and machine learning and UEBA is super cool. And if you're dealing with IAM, which is so much, there's just so much to deal with, this could potentially be a really great way to make that even more robust with little effort, of course, after implementation, little effort on your part. So for those of you who are utilizing this today, I would love to hear your stories, what worked, what didn't, with discretion, of course. I do understand that this is security. And for those of you who think that this is hogwash and wouldn't do any good, I would also love to hear why. Really want to take a Philip DeFranco approach here with commentary and feedback. So thank you so much for listening in. Hope this was helpful, and we'll chat soon.